Hey, everybody, this is Ramon Ray, founder of SmartHustle.com. Thanks for taking the time to be with me today at SmartHustle.com. We educate and inspire small business owners to start and grow successful businesses so they can live the lives they want, providing for their families, supporting their communities. This is what entrepreneurship is all about. If you're hearing the sound of my voice, watching this video, seeing my guests, please give me a 5-star review. If you hear the sound of my voice and you don't like what you're hearing, that's okay. Still give me a 5-star review. So with that, let's start our interview today. We're going to have a good time talking to Craig and Kenya Linton of Hustling Spirit, which sells all kind of amazing, I'll say, clothing and other things, but they'll set me right of exactly what they're selling, who they're serving, and how they started their business. With that, Craig, how are you feeling today? How are things in your world? What's going on in your life? You doing okay?
Oh, doing wonderful, doing wonderful. Looking forward to this opportunity to talk about our business and just share some time with you.
Yes.
Absolutely. Kenya, how are you doing today? How are things in your world?
Doing fantastic. Excited to be here. Your energy is contagious. So it's giving me life right now.
I appreciate that. And by the way, Kenya, where are you all at? Where are you based at? What part of the world?
We're in New Jersey. So South Jersey.
Right.
We're only 30 minutes from Philly. You too. That's right.
Yes. That's right. I should have brought our video camera right to your office. But with that, let's begin. And, Kenya, since you and I are chatting, we'll just start the first question with you. Then we'll open it up to both of you how you want to go. But help me understand a bit about the Hustling Spirit, what the business is about first. Let's just get that out of the way, but let's understand, people, what kind of business is it? I believe it's e-commerce, and then we can take it away to understand. The second question is, tell us how you started. So Kenya or Craig, whoever wants to take care of that. What's the business is today? Then how'd you start? Go for it, Kenya.
Absolutely. So yes, Hustling Spirit is a e-commerce business. We are faith-based business. So our first concept was to create just trendy designs that just sparked the conversation about God and God's word. But we didn't want words initially. We only wanted art. So art is universal. So we initially were just selling our products in different stores and boutiques, but obviously through the COVID pandemic, we shifted to more of online sales, and it morphed into a movement, I will say, because the term Hustling Spirit means to go after something with an energetic tenacity. So we want to go after all of the gifts and talents and things that God has put in our spirit, right, and predestined for us to be and do. So it became a movement. Like, people like, you know what, I'm a hustling spirit. I want to do that. I can do that. How can I be a part of this movement? So it's more than just clothing, Ramon. It's actually a movement.
I love it. And movement is, can you stay with me on that for 1 minute? Movement, then maybe, Craig, if you want, we can talk about the founding of it, how it came to be. And you may have mentioned that kind of already, Kenya, but when you say movement, help us understand that. Meaning, do you see yourself as an e-commerce product business? Or do you see yourself as a community and as a movement that happens to sell products, or both? Because, and I'm not being cute there, but it can be, you can look at sports, the NFL, right? We're entertainment experience we happen to do through football, or no, we're a sports company, football, that we want to add entertainment to. I don't want to get too psychological, but if you feel me, Kenya, right, how do you see that? And Craig, feel free to jump on in.
I really, personally see it as a movement that just so happened to sell products. Like initially it was the other way around. It was just about products, just creating products for people who wanted to, again, want to know who God is, but, didn't want the whole, what would Jesus do type of t-shirt, so but then it actually grew into it on its own organically. And now the community, and we can get into that later, how the community is a big, huge part of our business, and just everything that we do. It surrounds community, empowering, uplifting, encouraging other people to exactly do what we do. Hustle after the spirit, hustle after the things of God, do what you're called to do, and don't be afraid to do it.
I love it. Craig, help us. Tell me from your perspective, Craig, about community. What's your perspective on that? And then help us understand the journey, what got you here today. But feel free to give your perspective on that community part, Craig, what that means to you.
Yeah, I think the community part is so important, because that's why we do what we do. That is actually why we made the products in the first place, was to encourage people, was to, get that like energy and a tenacity going of, I'm here for a reason. So let me find out what this reason is. So that's the whole point of why we're selling, or what we're, what the products were based on. So that community part is so important.
Yeah.
So,
but the story of how it began, Craig can tell you that for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I love it. Okay, tell me, Craig. Tell me how it began. I can't wait to hear it.
Oh yeah. So it started in a valley moment. So it's basically was the very lowest point of basically both of our financially. I was actually flipping houses back then, and I was going through a bankruptcy because the housing market had crashed, was holding on to houses, couldn't get any buyers, and they were messing up my credit because I couldn't, we couldn't afford them anymore, couldn't turn them over. So I just really reached out to God, and by the way, my wife was pregnant at the time too. So all of that on top of it. So I really reached out to God one night, was really praying hard, and then just saying, God, as a husband, I want to be the provider of my family. And just, God, please show me a way. He showed me a vision that night. And he basically walked me through the Bible from Genesis all the way down. And on either side of me, I was in a beautiful house. I guess he spoke to me through a house because I was selling houses. On either side of me were beautiful pictures of the Bible in art form on the walls on either side of me. And I just woke up so excited that morning. I was like, babe, I know what we're about to do. I know what our purpose is. And I was so excited to tell my wife, and she was just like,
and I was like, no, okay, because we're going through bankruptcy. You're gonna get you a regular old 9 to 5, and no, we're not doing that.
Yes.
Typical wife response,
Which is good. Listen, me and my wife go through the very same thing. I think, we've married about 30 years rounded off, but as I say, she's the cautious one. I'm more the reckless is a wrong word. So I should use, reckless or go. So I go ahead, continue, Craig, go ahead. Okay. So you told her, and then she said, no, continue.
Okay. So then
that was the first part.
Yeah. So then I had another dream, and God actually showed me exactly where I was, like a job in a hotel, in a department, specific department I never worked in before, and just was he was actually just giving me provision for the vision. So he, God really work things out, and so good, man. It's just amazing. So I hopped down on the computer the next morning. The job was online. I applied for it, no prior experience in that, but I had the job, like 10 interviews later, I finally had the job, and that was basically provision for the vision.
And Ramon, in the beginning, we had no money, like Craig said. So we didn't even have enough to create our first t-shirt, even though we had, rewind, God got me together and was like, listen, Kenya, you're his helpmate. So yes, I'm going to support you. So he got me on board, but we did not even have enough money to start with t-shirts. We actually started with wristbands like this. So we sold enough wristbands till we made enough money to create our first t-shirt. So we were kind of like Oprah, like, you have a wristband, we were selling them to, churches, we were selling them to ministries, married couples. Our first wristbands were bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh. So that's what they said. They were for married couples, or engaged couples. Sure. So that was the target audience. We were just selling wristbands. And then we finally, and Craig was saving money from the job that he had. And we finally made enough money to create our first collection called the Genesis collection. It was our first line, and it was all through Genesis, different t-shirts with different artistry, and it was amazing. It was an amazing first step of our journey.
I love it. And then where is it today? Clearly, tell people what you're selling today. What is it today? You started with just a wristband, got a little bit to make t-shirts, and X years later, tell me how many years later where you're at today.
We're now in 48 states now. We're selling in 48 states. We just started off in the tri-state area, so New Jersey, Philly, and Delaware, predominant. But now we're in 48 states.
And how we got there was really, to be honest with you, Ramon, we've been in business now for almost 12 years. But through the pandemic, when we had to transfer from a brick and mortar type of, selling our products to online, and we connected with Printful, it's been an amazing, journey together, because then we no longer had to figure out how to print things ourselves, buying in bulk and having a whole bunch of inventory that wasn't selling, or having only certain sizes that sold. And then we had to tell our customers, we don't have your size. We got to wait till we, buy another 100, 200 t-shirts. So when we were able to, kind of transfer from the whole brick and mortar and then focus on online sales, we connected with Printful for our direct ship So now we can ship with no problem. We don't have a whole bunch of inventory that we're holding on to. Our customers are getting their products quickly. And now we're doing, we're doing t-shirts, we're doing hoodies, we're doing jackets, we're doing sweatsuits. We do so many different things. And not only do we do it for ourselves, we help other small business owners too, who just don't have the know-how, they don't have maybe the time. So we actually help to create their items, and we work a lot with our Printful family to deliver, products for them as well.
Do you see that as another revenue stream? Just curious, sorry about that. Do you see that the helping others do it as a separate revenue stream, meaning people can get Hustling Spirit, that's, $1 million. And then 50 other people, you're creating 50 other products of $100,000 each. And that is that's something can grow too. They might even have heard about Hustling Spirit if that's yours. Am I correct in what I'm repeating?
Yes. Okay. We're kind of like, we like to call them art. They're ghost, they're ghost creators.
We're white label.
Just helping them out and pushing them out there. So yes, it's a whole nother stream of income for
Project Elevation.
Yes, we call that separate part, Project Elevation, where we just assist other small businesses in elevating their vision. So it's been an awesome journey, and we figured out, we're figuring it out, I should say. When Hustling Spirit is the focus, and then when things are kind of slower with Hustling Spirit, it's Project Elevation, helping our small business owners. And then also we've morphed into, now we do mixers. So it's like, we can't keep all this talent, and we've connected with so many people over the 12 years of us doing business. So now we have business and purpose mixers, where we get a bunch of entrepreneurs and a bunch of performers that come out to a space, and we just have an amazing event. We wanted to create vision for other small business owners. Like, yes, girl, you can do it. Yes, you can get up there and sing. Look at her. She's up here singing. Look at, whoever's doing, so we have our next mixer coming up Saturday, April 16th, and we're in New Jersey. So we're in the South Jersey area. And it's called the TKL Business and Purpose Mixer. So it's going to be amazing. But yes, we went from wristbands to runways. We did fashion shows, and now we're doing mixers and helping others. So it's really been a journey for us.
It's like a domino effect. I think one yes brings you to another yes, to another yes, it just keeps going. You just got to keep rolling with it.
Just keep saying yes, and no, you're not going to have all the answers up front. You're not going to know what you're doing. Neither one of us went to school for art. I'm a nurse by trade. I'm a registered nurse, and like Craig said, he worked in the hotel management field. So, but when God starts to reveal to you your gifts and talents, he'll give you the path and the steps. You just got to keep going, going.
Sure. No, I love it. And talk to us about, what are the pillars of the business as of today that you find are important to you? What are things that every day you wake up in the morning or monthly, whatever it is, that you're looking at? I'm not necessarily asking for your key numbers if you want to answer it that way, but help us understand a bit about the guts of the business. Is it, how many products did we sell and how much staff time did it take? I don't know. Is it, what are some key things that, Ramon, here's the key things to whether it's Hustling Spirit or maybe it's any e-commerce business, if you understand what I'm asking.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say the key focus for us is obviously, so initially our whole thing was we wanted to create this business that was kind of made its own money. We didn't want it to be coming from our personal funds. So that's really one of our main focuses. That's one thing that we've been blessed to, where Hustling Spirit pays for Hustling Spirit.
Which it should. I mean, it should pay for Hustling Spirit and your salary and more. I mean, that's just
more. Exactly. But I remember just previously being in businesses and doing things where we weren't doing it right. Sure. We were pulling from our own personal funds, and things were mixed up. So when we talk to our friends and stuff, or people who we are encouraging, make sure it's separate, obviously. So the biggest things is making sure that it's covering obviously the cost of what it takes to produce. And obviously we do a lot of marketing online as well, a lot of Facebook ads and Instagram ads that is covering those costs and also bringing back profits. So we're always looking at our numbers and like, where do we want to be at this month? So this month, we know it's a slower month. So do we want to be at $10,000 in sales this month, or do we want to be at $20,000? And we create goals.
And where do we focus? Where do we focus
our energy?
And then the impact is very important. So on top of everything else, the impact, how much impact are we making? What are we doing? What's going to is it breast cancer awareness month? Is it,
Yes.
is it this month? Is it that month? What are we doing towards
Yes.
helping somebody, helping the community?
Absolutely.
So
Because
it's
we
very
figured
important.
out like how with our business, especially this past year, like with the pandemic, is we know, like October, November, December, people are,
crazy.
is busy. It's people are ready to buy Christmas presents. So our focus is on, making sure we're getting our product out in front of the people. We're giving them offers that they can't refuse,
Right.
bundles, different things like that. So after January, things kind of slow down, but people were like, look, I want to start my own business. So that's when we're pushing Project Elevation. Hey, we got a bundle for a brand new business owner. You don't have to buy 50 shirts, but you can buy a t-shirt, a bag, and a jacket, and you can start branding yourself without a whole bunch of breaking the bank. So our focus is very strategic after we figured out where, like, what does our year look like? When are we? So right now we're focused on the mixer. So the mixer is coming up. So we're pushing ticket sales right now and pushing, you come out to this event. It's going to change your life. So for us, it's kind of changes based on how the history of Hustling Spirit has unfolded and how our different months seasons go, the different seasons. That's the correct looking for.
Yeah. No, seasons are very important. And what about the aspects of, there's several different lines of your business that you have. How do you measure and know, because you mentioned it yourself, Craig, which one to focus on, which one is not profitable, which one is, as a friend of mine named Marvin talks about in his British accent, Ramon, is a distraction. So which one is a distraction maybe? Because I know that can be one challenge of businesses, especially, Amazon can do 1,000 different things and all could be a $10 billion business. Yes. I find, I'm not telling you, I'm sharing my journey, that I can't, it's harder. So for yourself, how do you know which ones you say, hey, Craig, listen, maybe we shouldn't do this, or Kenya says, hey, or Craig says, Kenya, maybe we should. Can you talk about that? Because right now, 12 years in, that's a pretty mature business. You've been doing it for a while. You know what you're doing, even though we can all learn, but what's your advice to others? Because it's easy to get distracted and say, hey, let's do a big event in Tampa. Let's do t-shirts that are about zoology.
Right.
It distracted you. How do you determine that?
And one other thing too, I want to piggyback what you just said about distractions. All distractions are the same. So you hear that? They're all equal. They're still taking you from your goal. So you know, but I think it's just the history. I see looking at the events that we did wonderfully. The vending events, we make sure we did, this is coming up. So we make sure we book for that vending event. We did horrible last time at this one. So we know we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that again. Trial and error. But after 12 years, you kind of got ones what you want to book. You like, these are the non-negotiables that we're definitely, like, once a month, we're going to go to a profitable vending event. But you pick the profitable ones.
And even with our designs, so like how we mentioned earlier in the beginning, we were worship without words, right? There were no words. You see a lot of words right now, right? So we're wearing shirts. So we found that we had to kind of change with the times. We're in an era now where statement tees are very really big. And I remember when we first dropped this statement tee, it's called, I don't need an invite to the table. I am the table. I was saying, Craig, we don't do words though. We don't do words. and we were going back and forth about it, but we did a little test of the small community, a local community, and they loved it. And this was the t-shirt that took us from being only sold in 3 different states to now the 48 out of the 50. And if we stayed
where sold online or sold in physical location?
Online, mostly online, and in local, locally here in New Jersey and Philly.
Right. No, I know New Jersey and Philly. I wasn't sure if you had stores in 48 states as well. Okay.
Oh no, just online, like I said, through Printful, like we were able to ship all over, and it was, it was amazing. But look, what if we would have stayed with what was comfortable, what we knew, what we were focusing on was just artistry type of shirts, but there's a market for it. And so just being open to try things, don't go too crazy spending all of your savings and all of your money on, this different idea, but it's okay to test things and
especially small groups,
right. Test your small group, test your local community at an event, buy 100 shirts or 50 shirts or whatever is affordable for you to see how is it, or just do it online. You can mock up something online and just put it out there and see what people think about it. And that's kind of what we did, and it took off. So we're like, okay, statement tees it is.
So we put money behind it.
Yes.
Yeah, and at this point, do you have a team that you work with, or is it? I know you have Printful that does the fulfillment, but is it you two alone right now, or do you have a team that does, like you mentioned, marketing? Marketing is a skill, so you all could be skilled in that, or do you have a outsourced company? Talk to us about the Hustling Spirit team, because I know team is really important for growth and scale. Who does that consist of? And it could be you two. That's fine. Just curious, who is that?
So the core team is what you see right here, Kenya and Craig. But we have obviously outsourced to, like, we took classes, marketing classes, and that was, someone that was in Florida, California. So yeah, I'm putting him out there. Justin Evergreen, shout out to Justin. He's a great coach for us.
Yes.
We have people who help us with our mixers. We do have a team of people that help us with our different mixers. So we have people at different.
And the mixers are in-person events, yes?
They're in-person.
Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have a group that helps us, but mainly what you see behind the marketing on Facebook and Instagram is either Kenya or Craig. At the events it's Kenya or Craig. You see, we are.
And you are the face of the brand, and I'm guessing then everything else to sell it. If somebody orders 5,000 shirts or 2 shirts, that's the part with your relationship with Printful. Boom, somebody else can handle that. Am I hearing right?
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what we love about
team
that.
Right there.
That's the big team right there. And it took us a while to get to that point because we have tried other, manufacturers before. And again, like, it's drop shipping what we do. So we have to trust that the packaging is going to look good. Right. The design is good, the way that we want to present it. So, it took a while to find a team that we can trust with our baby, and it's going out there. So that is the big team right there that makes it happen and gets it fast. That's the big thing, because everybody wants to be like Amazon. They want it like tomorrow. They want it like 2 years from now. And they do a great job with getting, like, our clients are always like, oh, wow, got it way quicker than I expected it. I had no idea. Like, oh my gosh, this was great. And what we like to do too is, because it is drop shipped by them, we send a little card. We send a little handwritten card to say, hey, you know what? Thank you for supporting our vision. Thank you for being a part of this movement. And, a lot of people, they love that too. Like, I got a card separate from the package. Oh my goodness. So, that
little things, the details.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that is powerful. Then I'm curious about your people from the deep faith. You're Christians, I would assume. So am I. And then you have business. Help me understand how that works for you all. I find personally, not everybody, because, as somebody said on a podcast I was listening to, there's so many people of faith who are entrepreneurs. It's a slant toward that, if that makes sense what I'm saying, meaning not saying everybody, but there's a big number of entrepreneurs who are very much faith-based people, regardless of the denomination. But I find that sometimes us in faith, we're so focused on, I just want to follow God and I want to save the world. And every pen I'm selling, I'm losing money. I'm not saying you're doing it, but can you talk about that? For you, is profit a bad word? Is capitalism a bad word? Is making money a bad word? Do you like, no, Sister Mary needs to buy the shirt. She can't afford it for $40. Okay, go ahead, take it for free. How do you balance being a business that's profitable, which I assume you believe in because that's business, versus, we're mission-based, we want to change the world? What do you do with those two things? How do you address that?
That's a great question. So one of the it is amazing. Well, one of the things that I would say blessed, I'm gonna say it like I feel it. The church that we attend is all about entrepreneurship. Like, when we walked in there, we're like, this many people in here doing businesses, and they're successful. And our pastors, they really they love entrepreneurs. They support our business. When I tell you, every year they're one of our biggest customers, because every year they have a new wristband that they want for the whole entire church. So we are their manufacturer for that. Beautiful. So we don't have that issue where, it's like, oh, we got to give this away for free, because we good Christian folk, we have to feed our children. We have grandchildren as well. We're leaving a legacy. And yes, we talk about impact and income. So yes, we're making impact, but we also need to create income. And there's nothing wrong with profit. We're tithers, we tithe, we're giving, we're givers. So, but we're never about, and to be honest with you, our church is one of our biggest supporters. We have events at their church, and I'm telling you, we sell out like every time and we've done like big, large bulk things for them. And so it's just, thank goodness we don't have that issue where we feel like, oh, we're taken away from someone, or
right.
It's about the quality at the end of the day too.
Yeah.
Like that's what we always say about our brand is like, if you can have cheap t-shirts and somebody's going to support you once, but they'll never buy another t-shirt from you again because they're going to be like, that quality sucks. I washed it and it's 3 size smaller. I'm like, I want the opposite. I want that shirt to last forever. So you'd be like, oh, I love this company. I'm always going to come back. I'm always going to support because they have great quality stuff. So you can't really skimp on prices because you want that quality, because that's what's going to really, it's the LTV, lifetime value of a customer versus a one-time deal. And the lifetime value, somebody's going to come back for 12 years. We have people who started off with 12 years. They bought so much stuff from us over the 12
stuff
years.
That's still lasting. But the one thing that's funny though, but the church folk will try you though. They'll be like, you need to just give me that shirt. I'm like, you need to.
My wife and I talk about that all the time. She makes wreaths, and as a hobby, and the larger part of her market are people in our church. And so it's we get the issue of hey sister, what you're selling? Oh, it's 200. Well, God bless. I'm feeling $50.
Wow.
I exaggerate a bit, but I
like, the Lord ain't tell me that. The Lord ain't tell me that.
Keep it moving.
Let's dive into a few other things. And this has been a great discussion. Again, Craig, give us your full name again and the name of your business and the website address before we go on. Please, one more time, give us both of your, Kenya and Craig, give us the name of your business and the website again, please.
Sure. Yes. Yep. The website is Hustlin' Spirit, and it's www.hustlinspirit.com.
Awesome. Yes, and I'm Kenya, and this is Craig, and we are Hustling Spirit.
I love it. Let's go back to talking about marketing. You said that I think the church and community, and then Facebook and other type of advertising are a big part of the advertising. Unpack that a bit. I guess my question: any tips, or for those listening? Everybody, meaning Facebook advertising and online marketing, is a big part of many businesses. Tips for that. What are some mistakes you made? What are some things you're like, Ramon, don't do this. Here's how we lost whatever money. Help us unpack that. Give us an MBA of what you've learned about digital marketing. Help us understand that.
You want to go with that one?
I'll start it off because we actually took a course on it. And you really got to know what you're doing. You can't just be spending money just because it's a lot of money to be just wasted if you do it wrong. So, what you do, we start off small. You set a small budget. Suppose you might want to start with $5 just to see if this ad's going to work. You test it against, you test it against, what do we do? We test it against the local market first. And then we actually put money behind it on the ad. Yeah. So we have like a local market where it's just the people in our New Jersey, Delaware, Philly. And then we have their emails, their contact information, or their Facebook page. We just send them a little, send them an email.
Little blast about it. So one of the things about what Craig was saying to piggyback off is especially with Facebook, things have changed now. So it's a whole update, the iOS update where people can opt out of seeing ads. So it did take a little bit of a blow, on our marketing. So when we first started and we launched this t-shirt here, it was crazy. The numbers were through the roof. And definitely we took a significant hit. So what I would say is now that you have that data, especially people who have already been doing Facebook ads and you have data from your website, use that. So create your email lists. Create your SMS text messaging. I'm telling you, that's actually, it's huge because you already have your captive audience. Right. These people purchase from you. They already trust you. They know the quality. They know your brand. Yeah. So, shoot them a text message, with an offer that they can't refuse. Give them a coupon code for checkout. Right. Drop the new, hey, you guys are getting the new color. Oh, you are going to get it first. Different tips that make them feel special and included. Like Craig said, small budgets. We still do Facebook ads, but it's a much smaller budget than what we used to do before because that update. One of the things that we do that I think is so awesome that you can do in your local community is every quarter we have a photo shoot. We drop a new design. We have a photo shoot and we put it out there to our local community. The first 50 people that purchase this t-shirt, you're invited to the photo shoot. You're going to be glammed up. You're going to come out and be feeling like a superstar. And they love it. It's the fear of missing out. They want to be a part of it. And they see pictures all over social media. Everybody posting, I was at the Hustling Spirit photo shoot. Look at me.
And they get to be the faces now of your campaign now. Right. So when you send in all these different beautiful pictures out and emails out, they're the face now.
There's your content right there. So you didn't have to go out here spending a bunch on
models.
professional models. You got your
Right.
friends, you got different shapes, sizes, colors.
Powerful.
Yes. And the people that look like your audience.
Yeah.
And then there's your content right there.
Yeah.
That, oh, I see. I'm thinking you. So you're giving them something they get they're proud of because they got new shots, glams, and all that. But you're saying you also
Then
have a
we
whole
get
new line.
Yes, we have a whole new line of actual people in the shirt as opposed to just
Love
a
it.
t-shirt thing on a table. You got
Yeah.
people live, different personalities. So we get content and then they also get something too.
Yeah.
Their only requirement is to buy the shirt. You're
Or
getting a
seeing just
free-
you both. You guys are a very nice looking couple. But can you imagine seeing Kenya? They hit next, hoodie, Kenya, shoes, Kenya, jacket, Kenya. Imagine Macy's or Sears, right? You see the same model every time.
Same
So that'd be
model all
kinda-
the time. Exactly. And like she doesn't look like me. I wouldn't look like that in that outfit.
Yes.
You
You
know?
need variety.
You need that variety.
Yes. Yeah.
How do you all, Craig and Kenya, and if you don't mind, Kenya, I'm going to ask this question first of Craig. I'm curious his opinion, being a dude. I'm a dude.
Okay.
I'm married. I'm a husband. How do y'all work together, Craig? What happens when you say, Kenya, we got to change the color of the website and make it gray? And Kenya's saying, no, it got to be orange. Craig is saying, you know what? We got to do hoodie 587. Kenya's like, no, Craig, we got to do hoodie 482. What happens, Craig? How do y'all work through that? Because I'm sure y'all never have any disagreements. But if you do, what happens?
Yes. So basically, oh man, you hit the said it right. But
Yes.
basically, what we do is we learned over these years to try and stay in our lanes. We both have. She's very creative. She's very. She'll like take the thing and make it amazing. I'll have like the basics of it. I'll say, okay, it needs to be this. She'll make that thing elevate. So it's like, okay, if I stay in my lane and get the meat and potatoes, she'll cook it.
Yeah.
You know, she'll make the
Nice.
meal out of it. So just learning how to stay in each other's lane so we're not, really crossing over. But when we do cross over, we do sometimes.
We got to tease it out, you know,
Yeah,
and
sure.
we have agreed to if we don't agree on it, we don't move forward,
Right.
you know, so we will
It
kind
never
of keep
works.
talking about it.
Yeah.
Like I'll compromise a little bit here, he may compromise a little bit there, but we don't move forward unless we are in total agreement.
Because we found out when we move forward by ourselves and the other one doesn't have the blessing,
Mhm.
it never works. It
Yeah, we've done that.
always
And I think I
fails.
told you I didn't like that design anyway.
And it
Yes,
fails.
It didn't work.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
When 2 or 3 are gathered, you know how it is.
Yes.
Yes.
Touch and agree.
Come on now.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Absolutely. I'm curious then, do you talk about business at home? Do you talk about it in bed? Do you talk about it in the Thanksgiving table? Or do you have any boundaries? Or are you all, is the business and your life, is that all in? Or do you like, nope, we cross the threshold, no more talking? Curious how you work it out as a couple. What happens?
We gotta learn how to turn that off button off.
Yeah.
But we really do it all the time.
We do talk a lot about our business. I will say that we've gotten better lately.
And it's
because
not
we-
bad. I wasn't making indictment because if you love it, if both of you love the
Yeah.
business,
Yes.
that's what you're going to talk about. So I was just curious how
Yes,
you do it.
we
Yeah.
talk about it in bed, we talk about it on date night, you know, but there's times that I do feel like we need to like, all right, let's just turn it off and let's just be Kenya and Craig, girlfriend and boyfriend. We're not hustling spirit right now. We're just, you know, talking about us and things of that sort. Because it
Yeah.
can be consuming and
Yeah.
the numbers and we gotta, we got to
Hit these quotas.
quotas.
End of the month,
And then
EOM.
sometimes it can get stressful. But I feel like lately we have been better.
We got distracted.
We got distracted because we had home improvement. So that's a whole
Sure,
nother.
sure.
So our whole focus was on the house. So we had
Absolutely.
something
That
to talk
happens.
about.
That goes back to the season, right? So going back though, that's the season. Sometimes
Yeah.
this and this
Exactly.
happens. Craig and Kenya, what didn't I ask you? I mean, this has been a great discussion. I think for me, I mean, we've touched a bit about marketing, got training. We talked a bit about team, how large, but I'm hearing is you're outsourcing it. We talked about Printful, especially for an e-commerce company, finding a partner, whether you're baking cupcakes, right? Marcus Limon is the prophet. He talks about, getting a co-packer, I think they call it. Similar thing. That's what I'm learning. Talked about partnerships, working together, to make sure you work together and how you can serve one another. And then why we're in business, legacy and kids and grandkids,
Yeah.
etc. Anything I didn't ask you that you think it's important about your story, or you think it's important for those listening, the e-commerce companies or any other small business listening to that you want them to know to help them in their business?
Ooh, go
I just
ahead.
want to start off
Take your
just
time.
saying, I just want to start off by saying just know whatever God lays on your heart, just like you might be scared, you might not know where to start, but you got to if you just start with something, just start asking people who are already doing it. You might reach out to 10 people and maybe one might respond back, but that one could give you what you need just to get to the next level. So don't like when God give you a vision, don't just hold it. You got to start doing something with it. Once you start taking that first step, it will definitely lead to another one and
Yes.
another one and another one. And that's how our business has grown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. You're never going to know all of the answers. You're not going to know everything about, what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And one of the t-shirts that we have is there's no traffic when you're in your own lane. And it's okay that someone else is, yeah, you okay? Yeah. I'm gonna let that digest for a minute, Ramon. And it's okay that so-and-so might be doing something similar to what you're doing, but you have a specific personality. You have a certain secret sauce, and there's only certain people that are going to be attracted to you. So it doesn't matter that Kenya and Craig is doing this, because you have a group that is assigned to you. So it's okay. Don't feel like, oh, I can't be a public speaker because Iyanla is doing it and whoever else is up there doing it. You have what it takes inside of you. If the desire is there, God will give you. He'll give you the know-how. So that is what I would want to leave our audience with. Because there's hundreds of t-shirt companies out there, but what makes Hustling Spirit so different? Because it's Kenya and Craig doing it, and the people who they're assigned to are going to be attracted to what they're doing, and we're going to empower them to go ahead and do their thing too. So yeah.
No, that is powerful.
Please,
Craig, go ahead.
I'll say, look at you. Like, look how amazing you are. Like, you just like, you got the gift of gab, number one, but I see the heart of the people. Yeah. So you got both authentic and then you care. So it's like, like people are just going to attract it just to that alone.
Right. I want to be on Ramon's show. I don't care about nobody else. I want to be on Ramon's show.
Well, to those listening, when I hit stop record, I got a lot of questions and some ideas for Kenya and Craig, but y'all can't hear that right now until I finish the stop record. I'm not talking to you, Kenya and Craig. I'm talking to the Smart Hustle audience who's not going to hear what I'm going to say when I hit pause on the record button.
Okay.
But anyways, listen, Kenya, one more time. Why don't I turn to you? Give us the full website name of your business before we sign off here. Can you go for it?
Yes, we are at www.hustlingspirit.com. Once again, we are Kenya and Craig Linton of Hustling Spirit. Check us out.
Love it, love it, love it. Again, everybody, I'm Ramon Ray with Smart Hustle Podcast. Thanks for joining me for another exciting episode of the Smart Hustle Podcast. And yes, I am a person of faith, deep faith as well, where we inspire and educate small business owners to start and grow successful businesses so they can live the lives they want, providing for their families and supporting their communities. This is what we do. If you're hearing the sound of my voice and you're liking what you hear, give me a 5-star review. If you don't like what you hear, that's okay. 5-star review. Thank you so much, Kenya and Craig Linton of Hustling Spirit, for joining me today on the Smart Hustle Podcast.